Well, howdy there. I'm the Diarrhea Cowboy, a guiding spirit that appears in YouTube videos to those that have had too much diarrhea. Now, you may or may not be afflicted with diarrhea at the moment. Of that, I can't ascertain. All I know is that this here ledger says you've been having too much of it. And bad news, you're due for more. Think of me as somewhat of a companion in these times to offer gentle suggestions on what to do given your circumstances. Now consider this. Slip and slide, but it's diarrhea. A water slide, but it's diarrhea. It don't all gotta be slides. I'm just shitballing. Picture this one. You and I could look out over a sunset, you're having diarrhea, and we got one of them industrial-sized fans set up. Hey, what's going on here? Just show up like a minute late, you're hanging out with all kinds of weirdos. This isn't the like, shit cowboy, is it? The diarrhea? No, that wasn't the distinguishing factor. Get the fuck out of here. All right, shit. Anyway, I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge. This is a video game news show. That's what I don't fucking care anymore. Let's just start it. Xbox had a little game showcase, and it was actually kind of decent. That's short for decent, by the way. I shortened decent and then elongated it again by explaining it to you. So now I have to use dece at least 46 more times to make up for it. Probably no huge blow you away crazy announcements, but a lot of, hey, that looks all right, I might give that a shot type stuff. Subnautica 2 got teased in a way that didn't show gameplay, but revealed that this one would finally have co-op, which in my opinion is a mandatory feature for a survival game by this point. I mean, the whole reason you do it is to get someone to pretend to care about all the shit you mined and crafted. That's a lot easier to do if you force them to play it with you. Remedy is making a game called FBC Firebreak. It's in the Control, Alan Wake shared universe, but it's definitely a lot actionier and goofier than those games. I think this is the Control building and everything. Don't quote me on that. I played about 4 hours of Control and it was still going, ooh, nothing makes sense at that point. So either the Control building or a Control building. Are there more of them? Only time will slime. And while we're at it, there was also a trailer for Alan Wake's Lake House DLC. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers got a gameplay trailer. This looks like a Sekiro kind of clone, and actually seems like it could be sick. It at least looks like it plays good. Bloober team. Do we like these guys now? The Silent Hill 2 remake seems to be unanimously considered as somewhere between great and good enough, so I guess so. We got a very brief glimpse into their new What If Scary Was in Space game Kronos the New Dawn, where an evil astronaut loses to a grandma in chess and then kills her with a speculum or something. That astronaut's name? Degrassi Mike Tyson. Mistfall Hunters got announced. The game is described as a PVPVE Extraction RPG, which could shake out to be a mess or kind of cool. My line with these personally is just how permanent is the stuff you extract with, just because I don't like getting fucked over when I play shit kind of half paying attention. I don't expect that to be in a trailer anytime soon, but it looks like they're gonna have an open beta down the line, so it's on the radar. There was a trailer for Wheel World, which is the place Elmer Fudd vows to start living after he realizes his obsession with killing one particular rabbit is indicative of a larger complex and hangs up his gun. Then 9 months later, he goes off his medication and realizes that therapist looked awfully familiar. Anyway, this game was called Ghost Bike before. Whoa, hey, hold up one sec. I know you're busy, and I am too. That's why I understand that sometimes you're too busy cooking figuratively to cook literally, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. That's why this video is sponsored by Factor. Factor delivers chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals right to your door that are ready to heat up and eat in just 2 minutes. Not only is Factor cheaper and way more delicious than takeout, but it's also better for you with dietitian-approved meals that include options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, vegetarian, and more. And when things get hectic, Factor is flexible. You're free to change up your order, pause, or reschedule deliveries anytime. So if you want to skip the grocery stores, prep work, cooking fatigue, and cleaning, and just make this whole eating food thing easier on yourself, you can get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders using my link. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code with your phone. Mouse PI, that rubber hose old school Mickey Mouse looking shooter, got a trailer. So did Blind Fire, where like someone probably pitched it as, you know how in laser tag it's is like dark. What if that was a video game? Like it's dark and you can't see shit. You know, like fun. That's a fun thing. People will hear about how you can't really see shit and go, that sounds fun. And then some investor goes, I made a bunch of money off laser tag in the 90s and I didn't understand it back then. The Yakuza Pirate Majima game showed off some Ubisoftian quadruple A naval combat. They took that shot themselves, by the way. And they pushed the release date sooner. Also kind of a funny dig if you think about it. There was a trailer for this cool physicsy game called Eternal Strands, which is also what it's called when you get it in her hair, by the by. It looks like it could be a neat new Zelda-style toy box of abilities that interact with each other type beat if the actual content can deliver. And there was a game called Legend of Babu that has a dog in it, which looks like my dog Cheese when she grows up. Spiderman 2 is coming to PC, as we all kind of assumed it one day would. If you don't own a PS5 and you've been waiting like a patient little sausage, this one's dropping in January. Halo is back. Question mark? 343 Studios is no more, but also there's a new studio just called Halo Studios. That's pretty much just 343 Studios again. They made a big announcement vid-doc called A New Dawn where they said, hey guys, oops, and furthermore, whoops. Anyway, the big substantial announcement is that Halo will be moving to Unreal Engine. They showed off some environments and a Master Chief, and it do look purty. It's kind of a anti-announcement, really. They're just going, guys, we waste a lot of time fucking around making our own engine. We should just work in Unreal and focus on the game, which, like, yeah, cool, not a bad direction to move in, but I guess we'll see. Like, how many times does this studio need to vow to change? Have you ever wanted to wake up next to Mario? Well, Nintendo has made an alarm clock called Alarmo that screams sweet gamer nothings at you until you move. And also, it doesn't work unless you're single, which is kind of a prerequisite for buying this anyway. If you'd like to enlist this device to bring you out of your dreams and into your waking nightmare of an existence, it can be yours for a mere $100. Monster Hunter Wilds has an open beta starting soon, which means if you want to try it for yourself or watch a bunch of streams or YouTube videos to see what it's all about, you'll be able to do that. Obviously, that'll give you more insight into whether or not the game will be good than my conjecture here could, but I do always like seeing games do this, and it's a good confidence move. Like, if your shit's not good, you're probably not going to whip it out and slam it on the table like that. Exodus, which is that game we talked about a while back that's one of those old team makes a new legally distinct version of game they don't have the rights to deals. It's Mass Effect. Point is, it got a cinematic trailer showing a big yucko living spaceship, kinda the Flood haloing around, except it can reach out and grab other spaceships. It's real evil stuff, that's what I'm getting at. If you're interested in game dev at all and haven't checked out Masahiro Sakurai's brilliant YouTube channel, you do owe it to yourself to give it a look. Sakurai, of course, is the director for Super Smash Bros, and on his YouTube channel he makes these super short, super concise, usually under 10-minute videos exploring pretty much every element of game development. And recently, he published his final video where he says that he considers the project complete and talks about his experience with it. Turns out, this guy not only was doing this for free, but sunk over 600 grand of his own money into it. He says he considers it like a public service and a way to pass on his knowledge. Truly, we do not deserve this fucking guy. I doubt he's watching this, but I just wanted to put a thank you out into the universe for him. Dude's out here making a difference in the world. Also, he revealed that he's been working on a new game, and all his videos were written and recorded around 2 years ago, meaning we might be seeing an announcement from him soon. If I've been screaming about anything other than vengeance, it's that there's no gold behind our money, and you don't own your video games. And if you've bought a game on valve.steam.com www recently, you may have noticed this little thing that clarifies that you're only buying a license. Now, this has always been the case. In fact, it's the case with iTunes, it's the case with pretty much any digital distributor. It's just that there's about to be a law that requires that to be disclosed, and Valve has taken the initiative to start doing it a little bit early, which you think would be, you know, a good practice for a business operating relatively ethically, but naturally, the internet was the internet about it. Steam, do better. Fight this. What are you talking about? So yes, we've been living in a dystopian digital hell where you don't own anything you buy for a while now, but hey, at least the disclosure is nice. Bros, Tits are back on the menu. There's a new Dead or Alive game coming out, and it's gonna separate the men who swear it totally has good fighting game mechanics from the boys who actually believe that. Because it's not a fighting game. It's not even a volleyball game this time. There's no pretending anymore. It's just a straight up dating sim now called Venus Vacation Prism Dead or Alive. The game is described as a, quote, first-person adventure game where you can date 6 different girls with big jigglies. This chick will feed you yogurt. Okay, you go on the games list, you right-click it, you go to manage, you click hide this game. Do you like heavy metal and guitar music? Well, Cult of the Lamb is producing an album called Hymns of the Unholy, featuring a ton of sick musicians from bands like Polyphia, Trivium, Animals as Leaders, and more. It's got a couple songs out now and drops on the 28th. Also, if that got your interest, I should probably mention that I am in a heavy metal band too. It's called Petrified Giant. I play guitar in it. We just put out a new single called Death and Taxes, and it is the most riff of all time. There's an interesting phenomenon that kind of happens with game franchises that lose popularity, where they shrink in budget over time to the point where it simulates literally getting geriatric and slowing down. Anyway, a new Double Dragon is in the works with a 3D game called Double Dragon Revive. It actually doesn't look horrible gameplay-wise, but visually, it's kind of sauceless. I think it's the lighting, honestly. Something's up with it, but I will still feign excitement and go, hey, they don't make them like that anymore, even though they kind of do sometimes, and it's usually pretty good when they do it. I just like games where you run around and beat up people with your friends. I just think there should be more of them, that's all. More Tomb Raider games are getting remastered. A new collection is releasing featuring the PS1 game Tomb Raider The Last Revelation and the PS2 games Tomb Raider Chronicles and Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness, now just renamed Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6. Angel of Darkness in particular is a notoriously dogshit game apparently, so maybe we'll finally get to see a remake where they actually do what they should do with remakes and remake stuff that isn't good and make it good, or maybe they'll just remake it bad to preserve that it was bad. The Behemoth, the game studio, made an arcadey game called The Behemoth where you play as the Behemoth, the big chicken. It's like $3 or $4. It's the Castle Crashers guys. Vampire Survivors, which my girlfriend describes as her favorite game to watch and says she loves when I play it, is coming full circle and getting Castlevania DLC. Castlevania, like Vampire Survivors, is a game known for featuring many vampires.
There's no fucking vampires. 90 hours and I haven't seen a single fucking vampire.
She loves it. She loves it.
Play that shit again around.
She loves it.
Hate it. It's fucking nothing. 90 hours?
There was some big Pokemon-related leaks that seeped onto the internet recently. I'm not gonna directly publish any of it past mentioning that it's floating around, but it's about what you'd expect out of a, oh hey, they're making more of it. None of it's particularly substantive. One bit I find funny though is that some lore stuff came out and like half of it is about people fucking Pokemon and having Pokemon human hybrid babies. I'm not making this up. This is not like a bit that I'm doing, which, make no mistake, this is how the sausage is always made. Walt Disney wanted to fuck that mouse. Don Bluth wanted to fuck them penguins. It's part of the process. You usually just don't get to see the internals like this, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, if you've seen or heard some weird shit about Typhlosion recently, that's why. And if you don't follow Pokemon, Typhlosion looks like this. So, anyway, here are the game releases for the month. I'm Lyle Rath, and this has been Pregame Discharge. We got a lot of cool stuff coming to the channel soon, big things happening, TM, so make sure you're scriboobed or whatever, because you don't want to miss it. Also, if you didn't catch it, we put out a cartoon a little while ago. That's on the screen right now. You should give it a little clickerinsky. All right, I'm out. Check you on the flop.